Now we gotta start all over.
I know. It was getting good.
It was getting good. Hi guys, this is part 2 of episode 3. We just had to make another one because the talking's getting so well. So this is part 2, guys. But
you were talking about being a boss and believing in your own dreams when nobody else does.
Yeah, so we're here talking about how nobody else believes in you at first when you're doing a podcast or you're doing a business or anything. And that's another thing I was gonna ask you too. Like, I know you believe in yourself, but like there's people that won't believe in you. They don't see the vision. They don't see what you wanna do. So you just gotta kind of like do it on your own. You gotta
absolutely
isolate yourself, or do what you gotta do to get to that mindset.
I actually have a good anecdote on that because at this point I trust myself to make decisions so much that I truly, genuinely, fully embrace believing in myself. Like without, if any little thing I would ask around for advice, and I still do here and there, just not for believing in myself, but maybe just like someone else has a different perspective that I'm not able to see. But like I mentioned earlier, my dad always had businesses, and he's always like he could be freaking dying at the hospital bed, and he's like, fuck it, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Pero I'm gonna do this till I'm gonna go hard until it's my time, like échale ganas. He's always been very pushing forward, and I kind of really damn saw him and was like, that's who I want to be. And when going back to where I first started working, I hit my 2-year contract, and I was just continuously feeling like I needed more growth, and I was just a dead end. I made my needs known, asked for a raise, asked for even just little things like medical insurance, and I was like, yo, I'm bringing in this amount of money, this is possible financially, what's going on? And just constant dead end, and I was like, I need to remove myself. And that's when I was finally like, okay, you cannot change the situation, so what can I do? The only thing I can do is, again, control myself. So what is this telling me? That I need to pivot. I need to pivot myself and move myself like a chess piece to win my chess game,
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna win your chess game for you except for yourself, right? And I just remember being so scared to do it, but at that point, after losing a child, you're also pretty fucking fearless,
Mm-hmm.
But I still had an ounce of fear, and I was like, I'm gonna call my dad, and he's gonna just give me that little 5% of dale mija, go for it, And it's not like it was a letdown, but it made me realize that you have ups and downs in your life, because I called my dad and I was like, I'm just calling to hear it, but I know he's gonna tell me dale mija, échale chingadazos. He's always said that to me since I was échale chingadazos mija. And I called him and I was like, Dad, I'm leaving my job, I'm starting my own business, I have sat here in my couch on my laptop making a logo, and I literally, when I tell you guys I built this from the ground up, I built it from the ground up, on my couch, designed the Estilo logo, came up with the name, everything from LLCs to finding, I never hired realtors to find my spaces. I did all of the nitty gritty, all of the nitty gritty.
Wow.
Yeah, I did not outsource for anything, because at that moment I didn't have the means to. And I was like, okay, I'm just running with this. I started my business with $7,000. And I called my dad. I was like, Father, I'm leaving my job. I'm starting this business. And I was so disappointed, because he said, Mija, ¿estás segura? You make really good money where you're at. You have a family, you have kids, you have a house that you just bought. Are you sure? Because you're very comfortable where you're at. It was pretty disappointing, because it wasn't the answer that I was looking for. but it was also very like so valuable because I hung up the phone.
Watch me.
And I said, fuck this shit, now I'm gonna do it even more. My dad didn't even give me the reassurance, which I don't, like I said, I don't blame him for him, I love him. But sometimes you just need that one person to tell you, no.
You can't do it.
For you to be like, pues huevos, I am. I am doing it. I hung up the phone and I was like, okay, nobody believes in me, but I believe in myself. And then I realized that that's all I needed.
There you go, folks. The secret sauce is you gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
literally. And you know, it sounds corny too. I used to hear that all the time.
No,
like,
it really does.
Believe in yourself, but you really do gotta believe in yourself, and that means like the whole world of it. Like, the whole aspect word, what it means, and like you're not only going to learn to believe in yourself, but that's all you have.
And if you don't, life is gonna force you to.
Yes.
It's gonna give you tests and turbulences that are gonna challenge you, and sometimes even then, like I feel like I had so many that I still didn't fully embrace believing in myself until all of the things that happened in the last year with my divorce, or I guess now 2 years, it's gone by so fast, that made me look back, and you know, with the help of my therapist, like, have you ever like sat and like looked back and look at how all the decisions that you made were made by you and no one else, and that you are pretty fucking trustworthy for yourself? Like, everything you've done yourself. So like, why not believe in yourself, you know? And I was just telling my partner this last night, like, it sounds so corny, like you say believe in yourself, but really, like, that's all you need. Like, you literally, and I say this all the time, I was just telling him this last night, like, you literally have the power to create your dream life in your hands. Like, everything is mental, everything is energy. Like, guess what? If you tell yourself, I can't do this, guess what? You can't do it.
You can't do it.
But if you give yourself like limitless possibilities for yourself, then who's gonna fucking stop me? You know? Like, if I'm getting like very into, like, I had so many people that like told me no.
No way.
That said, like, you're a girl, you're this, you're Latina, you're, you know, I think I was 27 or 28 years old when I started my business. About 28. And I mean, I will not forget the face of the lawyer for the downtown location. You have to go through this whole process to get the license for downtown, where it's like very expensive. You gotta go to court, like, it's a whole thing. And
to own up any business downtown, you gotta do all that?
No, this one specific is like for zoning permits, because it's not very common to own a permanent makeup establishment in downtown Chicago. I believe there's only 2 of us.
Wow.
They make it very, like, it's very complicated to, like, you just have to go through all of these steps and you're still not even guaranteed to get it, right? Okay. So you have to like jump all these loopholes, and I won't ever forget the face of this lawyer that I like hired. And we had been interacting via email for a while now, and then I finally was scheduled to like come in person and sign some documents. And he looked at me like, who is this girl? What is she doing here? You know, this is probably like a 55-year-old man, and he's looking at me like this little girl, like, what is she doing here? You know, like, I just felt it. And he was like, oh, are you representing someone from this da-da-da-da? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm here to sign the documents. And he looked at me and he was like, well, who are you? And I was like, the person that needs to sign the documents,
Josefina Jimenez.
The one that's signing the checks to you. And that was like a big, like, I think eye-opener for him too, that you need to like not judge people by how they look or who they are, you know? But yeah, you have so many people that are gonna tell you no and that are gonna judge you or not believe in you or even be surprised that like this person, you know. But I just don't allow things like that in my headspace anymore. I don't. Like they truly say that it's important to like what you speak, what you hear, what you surround yourself with, and it really like I have been practicing it even more this year, and it has been like the most life-changing thing. Like before I would, you know, dwell on thoughts and thoughts and thoughts, and now I'm just able to kind of be like, well, this is adding value into my headspace, so I'm gonna use it, and this is just not adding value to my life, so I'm not gonna allow it into my headspace. And then you realize that life is just really mental. That's all that it is, perspective, mental, and that what you don't allow into your headspace is just not part of your life. It doesn't exist for you. And it's really that simple. Like we overcomplicate our lives so much, but you're like the things that you don't allow to cross your mind, whatever, it just doesn't become anything in your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How do you feel about being in like I know all the stuff that you're talking about, like now that you're like aren't you like in a magazine or something? You know, you're coming up in a magazine or something like that. And like all this has led to like you being a woman. And this was before like you were like into all this. I always knew that you were like, dude, this girl is like trying to get her shit together, and a lot of girls could, see you as an example.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was like, you're very woman inspiring, and you should be like, I'm pretty sure you already are involved in some like woman inspiring other women, but I could see you owning like an organization, like you building like, hey, this is all for women and women inspiring other women, and like building a whole nother empire. It has nothing to do with all this microblading business and all that, but your success could lead to you building.
Absolutely. I definitely think that or not think that, I know that I have some kind of, I don't know if higher purpose is the word, but I have a calling to I don't know, I felt it ever since I was a little girl. I grew up in a machista household with 3 brothers, and I just remember like it was just so natural to me to be like, I wouldn't say it out loud, but to be like, fuck you, Dad. Like, he was like, you need to grow up and be the stay-at-home wife, and da-da-da-da-da, and you need to be in the kitchen, and you need to this and that. And I was like, no. Like, honestly, that's why I left my house so young, because I was just, I don't know if rebellious is the word, but I was like, this is not it. So I think that it's something that I have in my calling since I was a little girl. Like, I always knew that, like, this is not right. This is not the way things should be. And then, watching that and watching my mom be a stay-at-home wife and like all the complexities that come with that and being underappreciated as women, like, I just feel like, especially, I don't know that, I guess you can say it's society as a whole, but very specifically for me, Mexican culture has trained us to be, you're the woman, you stay at home, you say nothing, you accept everything, you allow everything, and everything is fine, and you just shut up, and the more you do, the better, right? And it doesn't need to be like that. Like, we have so much power. Like, I don't know, that's just like a whole nother
podcast.
A whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
we're
I mean, a whole other podcast, guys. We're gonna do this the next time in another studio.
I know.
Because I want to check all your locations too, but we're definitely gonna have like a whole series of podcasts with her. Because,
I got a lot on my mind.
No, good.
I mean, I just think that it was something that I was meant to do. Like, I since I was very little, I knew that was not the right way. That also, like, I don't consider myself to be a feminist. Like, I believe that men should not be held accountable for working hard-ass days and not being able to come home with and interact with their children. Like, you weren't put on this earth just to be a financial provider. Like, what else can you provide for me? Like, the whole cultural thing, at least in my culture, teaches you, like, oh, if the man doesn't pay for everything, then he doesn't really love you, or doesn't really value you, or da 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 da. Like, why are you teaching women at such a young age that your value is determined by what a man can provide for you materialistically, financially? Like,
you also said about, that's another, sorry to interrupt you, but before I forget, that's something that I never like heard from another woman, but men aren't the source of happiness.
oh, nobody else should be your source of happiness.
So when you said that, I thought about it. I've been thinking about this whole time. I was like, wow, what does it mean? What does it mean for a man not to be the source of happiness for a woman? Because
I think it comes back to what I'm saying. Like, ever since we're little, all you were trained to know is you gotta grow up and be sexy enough to be approved by a man, to be loved by a man, da da da, by a man. Why? It goes back to the same thing. Why are we taught as little girls that a man should reflect my value? I am my value, and it has nothing to do with you. I bring my own value if I know who I am. But we're trained ever since we're little to rely our value on someone else, on how he makes me feel, on what he provides for me, on what he can bring to the table. And if he doesn't bring to the table, he doesn't really love you. Because if he's not throwing money at you, if he's not paying for your plastic surgery, then he doesn't love you.
Do you think this is reason why a lot of couples break up?
Absolutely, because nobody's actually happy themselves, for themselves, with themselves, before choosing to be a partner. A partner should complement you, not complete you. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have expectations, needs, da 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 da, because then you could be fine single forever. But I think it's nice to share that, like, when you feel that with someone else. But I think it's also very nice to be conscious that I am me, I have my own identity, and I come first, and then I share with you everything else. And I think that's where, specifically in our culture, I think a lot of marriages, relationships fail, because we're so dependent on someone else for our happiness.
Yeah.
And let me tell you that all the cars, the dream car, the dream business, like, none of that is gonna make you happy if you don't understand how to be happy on the inside for yourself, by yourself.
Without nothing.
Not without nothing, but just simply for being, for existing, like shifting that and being grateful for just being,
Mm-hmm.
And that nothing, no one can affect or change that, like, that this person does not define my worth. This situation does not define my worth. Like, I just am, and it is, and it's undeniable. I exist, there's no other me, and that is so valuable. We keep searching for our value in other sources, or looking for things that add value. That's why people go and do things that sometimes they don't even, like, I'm not for not doing things that make you feel better. Like, if it feels good and you're doing it for yourself, do it. Get the surgery, get the fillers, get whatever you want. But I think a lot of people are mistaking that in the sense that they think it's going to add value to them to be approved by others, as opposed to, this is what I genuinely want for myself. Like, if I wasn't looking for an exterior validation, would I really want to do this for myself? If no one else existed in the world, would I even care?
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's quite something to think about sometimes. A lot of people don't put so much perspective into a lot of things, and they just kind of like go with the flow of life. But until you start to
wake up
and say, hey, why, like for you talk a lot about the culture, and you know, it's happening, man. A lot of people don't want to hear this, but it's like it's people are waking up, you know, and
Absolutely.
we're breaking a lot of boundaries, we're breaking a lot of what is it called? Stigmas. We're breaking a lot of tradition curses. Literally, generational trauma. We just keep going. I'm telling you, this doesn't even have to be another whole podcast, guys. But we're gonna cut it short down because I'm sure you know.
I'll keep talking forever.
She's gonna keep talking, but I also don't want to take her time, and she has a lot of stuff going on, and yeah, but I definitely want to make more content because like, you know, it's really good to hear all your feedback from everything you do, from being a mom to being a girlfriend, a best friend, a sister, business owner. And you look great, by the way, too.
Thanks.
You look so
and pregnant
and very chill and relaxed. I came in here and I saw her just sitting there with her legs crossed, just waiting for us. Like, damn, like
she's not even nervous.
Not even nervous. And she's asking me if I'm nervous. This is my show, but she's asking me like, "Are you nervous? You alright? What's going on?" And I was like, you know, but no, it's really fun to have. You know, I'm really honored to have you with us. You know,
Thank
today,
you.
giving us a shot and the opportunity
Likewise.
to, you know, talk about a little bit of everything. I admire your work.
Thank you.
I admire all your art.
Thank you.
I'm such a huge fan of all your stuff.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing a lot of other things you got working on. I know you got a couple projects too. You're probably gonna be on another podcast, and you probably got like, a lot of stuff going on. And I just, you know, I really appreciate you. Like, just hey, sure, you know, let's do a little podcast.
Yeah, I believed in you. I was like, when I saw him finally do it, I was like,
you're
fuck
like,
yeah.
Oh, you're like, you're doing this, and I was like, yeah. It's like, all right, I'm in.
Let's do it.
And I just think like you're one of the best podcasts too that I was looking forward to
thank
it.
You.
Because I was like, I always knew that. I was like, man, I would love to have you on a podcast because I hear you. I kind of resemble myself a lot in you, and I learn, and I just shut up. Some people just need to shut up and listen and see,
absorb,
and just let this person talk. And you know, this is what this whole podcast is about. It's not about me. It's about you. You know, we came to hear what you had to say. I came to hear what you had to say. I'm literally doing the podcast, but I feel like I'm in the podcast. So
yeah.
I'm listening to you, and I'm just
you're
like
flowing. You're present.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, like she's right. Like I'm probably gonna watch this myself later and like reflect on my own stuff, like because there's so much room to still grow.
Yeah.
That's one thing I feel with you.
Yeah.
Like you're not done yet.
I'm
like,
not.
you know, you can feel that. If you guys were here, I'm pretty sure people are gonna feel this energy through the freaking screen. But it just feels like it's not done yet. Like she's still doing. I feel like she's like.
I do actually have a couple things that I haven't talked about. I haven't dropped yet, but I can tell you guys, I'm.
Give me a little sneak peek.
Not actively working on it, but I know that it's for a reason because I feel something more coming that I need to sit down and just like focus on it or completely direct my focus on it.
Yeah.
But I'm writing a book. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And I'm looking at other things.
That's great.
Maybe in future podcasts we could talk about.
We're talking about the book here now.
Yeah.
Wait until she actually writes it, and then we get an autograph right here, and like, hey guys, you know. So this is the stuff I mean. Like you still got so much to give the world.
I do. I feel like I have stuff to give to the world. That I don't know. I feel like that I need to be a voice for a lot of women.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of my success also in my business has been because of that, because a lot of women feel safe sharing space with me, and yes, I love what I do, and I'm grateful to be in a position where I can sustain a good life for my kids and myself, and but it's just so much more than that. Like, it's so beautiful. Like, it just how we were saying right now, like, you're fully immersed in the present, so that's where how you're supposed to be flowing with life. And to consistently go to work and have moments where you like lose track of time, where you're like, fuck man, like I don't even care how much this person paid me to do their eyebrows. Like, I just had such a beautiful interaction with these people that, like, you just lose sense of everything. That's what we should be searching for in a world that told you time was ticking. You know?
The experiences with people,
the quality,
the time quality, because you're not just microblading, you're like interacting, you're providing a service for this.
Yeah, and being real with these people and them feeling able to, like, hey, I went through that too, hey, I lived that, like, damn, thanks for sharing, I can relate, or how did you do this? And me being like, it's so much more than money.
Do some of the customers become your friends?
Oh, absolutely.
Like you come in and it's all business, and the next thing you know, you build a friendship.
Absolutely. I actually, when you were talking about the whole boss thing, I firmly believe in that, and there's absolutely a need, a requirement for you to step into your role as a boss. Or I would like to not say boss, I like to describe it as authority. But I don't believe in that either. Like, everybody tells you, you know.
What about discipline?
You don't.
Discipline?
Discipline, but also authority. Because I
of
personally create an environment where I don't feel like I want my employees to feel like she's just another one of us, you know, and I firmly stand on that. Like, I feel like a lot of times I could be in here working, and I feel that customers realize it because of my strong energy. Like, she's the owner, but they don't, unless they've done research, they don't really know. Like, I'm just chilling like everybody else, doing what I love. And there's so much beauty in that, in a world that tells you the power, the ego, the money. No, like, what about you fill your everyday life with moments of really good interactions? Like, we're so focused on the outcome and the destination, but we miss the process. We miss immersing ourselves fully in the right now.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that exists right now.
That's something that I had to learn to do that.
Same.
Like, I would pretty much, like, glue my own days. So I would start, you know, I would go back here, just start thinking. I was I woke up great, feeling great, doing my push-ups, eating good, and then suddenly I would switch my thought to something that I wasn't supposed to be thinking, and my whole day was ruined because of that thought. Yeah. And then sometimes I'll start thinking about the things that were going to be happening. Yeah. Like, so excited, so anxious that I couldn't focus on what I was doing at the moment.
Right. So, and that's, most people live their life like that. They don't fully immerse in the present, and they're so focused on the future that you forget that you could literally die in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Until it actually happens, and you're like, what the fuck did I do with my life? So why not fully immerse my every single day, trying to fill my every moment with things that are valuable experiences to me, not focused on the end result of being a millionaire, being like the right now, the only thing that truly exists.
That was another issue of mine too. Like, I knew that I was gonna be successful. I know that I'm gonna get to millions. I know that, but I wasn't focused.
But I knew that I was going to be successful puts you in an energy of lack of, I'm not there yet, I'm not good enough, I'm not sufficient right now. What if I am sufficient right now? Today I am fully present. Today I am the most successful I have ever been. And then every single day you consciously do that until you just are. It just becomes part of your life.
We're gonna highlight that.
I'm serious. I'm serious. And you do it unconsciously. If you do it unconsciously, I'm gonna send you some videos.
You trigger your mind.
Like, everything that is, this is just my beliefs. You know, everybody to each their own. Like I said, in a spiritual path, like, everything that you have a soul calling for, that you're like, me feeling like I have a calling to be a voice for women, like, it's not for no reason. It's probably, I don't know if you believe in all this, but like, a different version of you in an alternate dimension universe has probably already done it. That's why your soul recognizes it, right? So what better way to start fully embracing that, right? Like, I remember when I first started, I was in a 300 square foot room, right? Downtown. It was like, this is what we have, and then we're building from here. right? We're gonna make this work for right now, and then we'll see what happens. But I remember I bought myself like a Louis Vuitton briefcase, and I was so fucking proud of it. It was like $6,000, and I was like, at that moment, it made me feel like you're a badass boss bitch, you know? And I would wear it and wear it and wear it, and I wasn't where I am today, and I would wear it, and I believed it. And
where's the bag now?
It's sitting in my closet, and I don't use it anymore because I just don't find any value in spending so much money on bags anymore. Like I've had so many perspective shifts now, you know, everything's just different, but not that I don't like my bags anymore. I still like that stuff, but it's a different meaning to it now. But in that moment, that gave me that sense of, you're a boss ass lady. And I wasn't there yet. I was in the process. But I would pick it up and I would walk down the street, and this is you.
That's
You're
beautiful.
a badass.
That's fucking
And
beautiful.
and fuck, one day I looked at the bag and I was like, holy shit, you are now in a 1,200 square foot space. You have overcome the city, lawyers, like all this, and just sitting there and like, man, fuck the bag. That bag doesn't mean shit, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's deep.
And that's where you realize that you're so much more than all the
Yeah.
fucking bags and all the money, and that means nothing
I love that. I love that.
until you believe in yourself.
Yeah. And literally, you just have to just gotta tell yourself every day, I am this.
I am today.
that.
Today I am enough.
Today I am enough.
Today I am enough.
That's for everybody, whether you're a woman, man. Just tell yourself that for what? What do we say? Like 2-3 months. Just tell that
every
shit
single
every
day. Every
and
single day.
Clearly, things will start to shift. Why? Because it's
Absolutely.
You know, you start to tell yourself that it's positivity. You know, you start. It's a frequency. You know, you just start to think like, hey, this good things are going to happen to me. And like you said, even if bad things happen to you, you still have to be like, well, hey, at least I'm alive.
I learned something. What did I learn from this?
I can see, I can smell, I can touch, I can feel, I can still like, whatever happens that day, you know, still try to figure something out. Like,
What about, you're just gonna get even more mind fucked by me right now. What if you lived in a world that good or bad doesn't exist? Like, you don't label things as good or bad. You just are always learning. Everything is always teaching me something, right? So I don't think this is bad. This person is not bad, like society said they were.
so people think that
They're
we all just came to experience life.
They're just teaching me that I don't want that in my life. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Then you never take things personally, or you don't say like, oh, this is good or this is bad for me. You say, I'm just always like, just don't classify something as like, today was a bad day. Just be like, man, today I learned that I could be more consistent at the gym, or today I learned that I don't feel good after I drink way too many beers.
Facts.
I'm not a bad person for it. I'm just learning
That's true.
consistently, and I'm never gonna stop learning. And it's part of evolution. Let go of the labels. Let go of classifying good or bad. I'm just always learning, and it's always helpful. It's always you becoming who you're meant to be.
You're talking like a teacher right now. I mean, the teacher vibes, like, yes. What else? I'm telling you, I'm gonna go back to this podcast and rewatch it myself before it gets uploaded.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah,
no, I want to thank you so much for
Thank
you
you.
know, saying all this stuff, spreading some knowledge with us. This is probably not gonna be the last video for sure. We need to. There's just so much. I'm gonna build like a whole series of it. So,
Josefina series.
like a whole series. That's series 1, episodes 10 of them. But thank you so much for having us here. I
Thank
appreciate
you guys for coming.
Appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the things you said. We look forward to having you another day.
For sure.
Another year studio. I know that you're prego, and I don't know how you feel about continuing, but
Yeah.
thank you so much. I appreciate it for real.
Love you guys.
It was a pleasure, being with you and having.
I'm all here
having
for
here.
when he's a millionaire.
Guys, till next time,
You
till
better
next
share some of
episode.
that.
Till next episode. Yeah, she's gonna be like, hey, when you're a millionaire, I want my cut.
Right.